so much, Brother Charlie Weimer.
Thank you so much for having me, Joseph. It's always an honor to support the ailing Christians of Pakistan. So, dear friends, dear sisters and brothers, as we stand here today, we strongly condemn the forced conversions and child marriages of Christian girls in Pakistan. We also call for the unconditional release of Anwar, Kenneths, Shagufta Kiran, and Safar Bhatti, and all the others who are unfairly and unjustly imprisoned in Pakistan. They will not be forgotten. Dear friends, Islamism and blasphemy laws are a direct threat to our safety and freedom of religion. Like in Pakistan, where Islamist fundamentalists and extremists flood the streets and seek the death and persecution of those who do not adhere to their wicked ideology, we in Europe have been witnessing the rise of the same threat. The threat of Islamism for a Dar al-Islam, where there is no place for Christians or non-believers, directly undermining and endangering the very fabric and social cohesion of our societies. Europe must wake up. While Islamists seek to stifle any discussion on freedom of religion by slandering anyone who dares to speak out against it with Islamophobia or blasphemy. They have burned churches and killed Christians, not just in Pakistan, but also here in Europe. We all remember the devastating fires of the cathedrals in Paris and Nantes, the beheading of women in Nice, and the abhorrent killing of Father Jacques Hamel, who had his throat slit during a morning mass. More recently, we've seen Islamists attacking synagogues and calling openly for the killing of Jews and kuffars, non-Muslims, while waving the Shahada flags on European streets in so-called peaceful protests. Dear friends, collective action makes a difference. We've seen it time and time again when Europe spoke up against the blasphemy laws and persecution of Christians in Pakistan. The case of Asia Bibi. She was sentenced to death in 2010 and released in 2018, almost exactly 5 years ago from today, after immense international pressure, including the resolution that was adopted by the European Parliament that called for her release. There is also the case of Shagufta Kausar and Shafkat Emanuel. The European Parliament passed a resolution condemning the blasphemy laws in Pakistan, in particular the case of Shagufta and Shafkat, in April 2021. Just 2 months later, they were both released. Since then, as you know, I had the honor to meet with Shagufta. It was heartwarming to see that our collective action made the difference and saved their lives. We must also come together and call for the unconditional release of Anwar, Kenneths, Shagufta Kiran, Safar Bhatti, as well as all the others unfairly and unjustly imprisoned in Pakistan under the so-called blasphemy laws. We will not forget, and we will keep fighting for their freedom. Dear friends, the EU must act to hold the perpetrators of Islamist violence to account. The EU must include the fight against Islamism in its global strategy. This is a fight for our survival, both in Pakistan, Europe, and around the world. Those countries that promote Islamism and persecute their Christian communities must be held to account and face proper repercussions. In this light, we must call for the enforcement of human rights obligation under Pakistan's GSP Plus status, while at the same time call on the Commission and the European External Action Service to immediately review and withdraw Pakistan's eligibility for the GSP Plus status. Dear friends, the plight of Christians in Pakistan is very close to my heart. You can count on me standing up, speaking up in your defense. Together, we stay strong, and together we will act to ensure the freedom and dignity of our brothers and sisters in Pakistan. Good always triumphs over evil. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Charlie Weimer, for your unwavering support always to standing with persecuted Christians around the world, and particularly Pakistan, Nigeria, Egypt and Iran. And today particularly calling on standing with us, and also calling on Commission, EEAS and other mechanism council, 3 parts of European Union to stand unitedly, firmly to call on Pakistani authorities to implement, enforce 27 conventions. We highly appreciate it. We thank you so much for your presence. Thank you very much.
Thank you.